Does Salako need quick weapon switching, and what do people mean when they say quick swapping? Hello, I'm Under the Mayo, and welcome to a very niche topic that only a handful of people actually care about. I've become fascinated with the discussion around Salako, comments from players saying it needs fast weapon swapping, even going so far as to giving the game a bad review over it, which, don't do that. Salako's a good game, it's evolving in early access. But I think there's a big misunderstanding amongst fans of the game as to what critical people are saying when they say Salako needs weapon swapping. There's a lot of, this game doesn't need to be Doom Eternal out there, but that's not what people are actually suggesting. And we have to draw a huge distinction between what I'm going to call recovery canceling and recovery delay. Recovery canceling is when you fire a weapon and during the animation of its recovery, you can cancel out of it and switch to another weapon, instead of waiting for the full recovery animation to finish first. This is not a Doom thing, this is a many shooters thing. Salako allows you to cancel out of the pumping animation after firing the shotgun. Trepang 2 lets you cancel out of this animation as well. Proteus allows you to cancel out of this animation. And yes, of course, New Doom allows you to cancel it as well. And there are many titles that do not have recovery canceling. Fear requires you to sit through the full recovery before you can switch weapons. Duke Nukem 3D makes you wait till the end of the recovery. Dusk has you watching the full super shotgun reloading animation before you can switch. And Classic Doom is like this as well. It all depends on the game, its flow of combat, the power of the weapons, the speed of the enemies. There's no one correct way to do it across all shooters. Recovery canceling is appropriate when it suits the gameplay. However, some games with recovery canceling also have recovering delay. This means that while you can switch out of the recovery animation, you still have to complete it when you eventually come back to that weapon. So even though Salako lets you cancel out of this shotgun pumping animation, once you switch back to the shotgun, you'll have to perform that animation to completion before you can fire the next shot. And the inclusion of this recovery delay in the games that feature it is an important detail in weapon balancing. So on the other hand, we have a game like Proteus that has no recovery delay, and completely skips any need for a recovery animation upon switching back to the shotgun, granting a higher firing rate if you quickly swap away from it and swap back. This is what Salako players think people are referring to when they say they want quick swapping. This is the Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal style of weapon swapping because it does not have a recovery delay. You're skipping the recovery entirely by switching away, and then when you come back you can immediately fire again, allowing for rapid fire weapon combos with no downtime. People are not asking for this to be added to Salako when they casually toss around the term quick swap or weapon swap. They are not asking to be able to skip the pumping animation entirely and just be able to rapid fire the shotgun by quick swapping back and forth like Proteus or Doom. Their comments are instead about the general speed of switching to different weapons and how slow it can feel to pull out a needed weapon in the heat of battle. If you look at Fear, a game with an obvious influence on Salako, the pause between weapon switching is quite long. But it's not so much of a problem because the speed of combat in Fear isn't lightning fast, and you have access to a time slowing ability. You don't need the instant switch to another weapon in the moment. You also have better tactical options by being able to peek around corners. Fear's weapon switching speed suits the pacing of its combat and the abilities of the AI. But Salako's combat is much more chaotic. It's faster, there are more enemies, and you do not have the ability to peek around corners when taking cover. And there's no slow motion ability here to save you when you're in a tough spot. That makes quick reactions and quick decision making much more important aspects of the combat loop, and that's where people are taking issue with the weapon switching speed. You can actually see that switching from the AR to the SMG is faster than switching from the AR to the shotgun. The shotgun has an extra almost 15 frames on it, making it take a full second to switch to. Weird for a gun which also has so much downtime between each shot. It takes a long time to pull out the shotgun, and the shotgun is not something you just run around with in Salako because it has a long downtime between shots. It has to be used tactically. It has a long reload time, ammo for it is pretty sparse, and a lot of enemies are sitting out of range. It plays a specific role in combat for when you identify the right target for it. But since it takes such a long time to take out, it feels like the opportunity is lost by that point. You would have been better off just continuing to fire the weapon you were already holding. This long weapon switch speed applies to other weapons as well, namely the grenade launcher, where it feels incredibly sluggish to pull this thing out in any kind of reactionary sense. And I'll tell you why this can be problematic. First of all, you don't want to just be walking around with a grenade launcher because if you're suddenly ambushed or snuck up on, shooting it up close will kill you. And since it takes a long time to put it down and switch to another weapon, you could really be screwing yourself. So that leaves the grenade launcher as something to pull out when you identify a good opportunity for it. But just like the shotgun, it takes forever to come out, and in that time you could be creating a bad situation for yourself, because you're essentially pausing everything you're doing to wait for the ability to shoot a grenade. Let me quickly pull out the grenade launcher when I need it. Let me quickly swap to the shotgun to kill that guy that flanked me, and I'll deal with the fact that I have to go through the long pumping animation the next time I want to shoot it. It would be cool to see 10 frames get shaved off the automatic weapon switch time, and a good 20 to 25 frames shaved off the shotgun and other heavy weapons. I don't think it would break the game, but of course a change like this would have to be tested. And hell, given the limitations of the GZ Doom engine, I don't even know what's possible. This is just how I feel about it, and I wanted to help explain what people are actually expressing when they say the game needs quick swapping. It's not about the Doom weapon combos and making guns instantly fireable by fully skipping their recovery. It's about making Salako feel more responsive and allowing you to pull out the needed weapon in the moment you need it without the opportunity already passing you by. I don't know if this video will convince the developer to make these changes. That's not really what this video is about. I just wanted to help explain the issue better. Thanks for watching.
Bro, you want weapon swapping in Salako? Not everything has to be Half-Life.